Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this online lecture series. This is Neha Pradeep Joshi. In previous lecture, you have already started to cover A Midsummer Night's Dream, a comedy written by William Shakespeare. In previous lecture, you have seen his introduction, you have seen the theme, and I think you began with the plot of the play as well. Okay, if you pay attention to this particular comedy, you can see or you can observe that there are many characters in it. So before going towards the plot, I first want to introduce different characters which are there in this comedy. Okay, so let us first know the characters and then we see the plot. Okay, so major characters and then their story. We are going to change the sequence. In the textbook, characters are given in the end, but I just want to cover them at first and then their story. Okay, so in this play, in this comedy, there are uh, there are multiple couples. There are prominent four couples and it is their story. Okay, so now first pair or first couple is Theseus and Hippolyta. Okay, now Theseus is Duke of Athens and Hippolyta is his fiancée, and they are going to get married very shortly. So in the plot it is told to us that preparations are going on for their wedding. Okay, and as they are big people, they are people in authority, um, big festivities will be there, and there will be lot of preparation, lot of pomp and celebrations. Okay, so this is one pair, Theseus, Hippolyta. Okay, now there is second pair, Hermia and Lysander. Now pay attention to this. Uh, from these characters, all the problem starts. Hermia is daughter of Aegeus. Aegeus, her father Aegeus, is actually a courtier in the court of Athens. Okay, so he is a prominent person in Athens. Aegeus wants his daughter Hermia to marry Demetrius. Okay, Aegeus wants Hermia to marry Demetrius, but Hermia has already chosen Lysander as her life partner. Lysander is uh, her lover. So Hermia is already in love with Lysander. So this is the second couple, Hermia, Lysander. Now there are many problems that this particular couple has to face. First one is Hermia's father does not approve their relationship, and Demetrius is also is in love with Hermia, so definitely he is going to cause some kind of problems in the lives of Hermia and Lysander. Okay, so the second pair is Hermia, Lysander. Now let us come to the third pair, Demetrius. As I told you before, Demetrius is in love with Hermia, but she does not love him back. Okay, and Helena, Hermia's friend Helena, is in love with Demetrius, but Demetrius does not love her back. So the third pair here is Helena and Demetrius. Okay, now this pair has many issues. Helena loves Demetrius, but he does not love her back. Okay, both these are Both these lovers are one side love, having one sided love, not for each other, but for other people. Helena loves Demetrius, but Demetrius loves Hermia. Okay, so this third pair is also having lot of issues, and let us see what happens to them. And then there is fourth couple, and their world is totally different. They are from the fairy world. Okay, and Oberon and Titania are king and queen of that world. So there is a normal world of human beings, and there is another world of fairy world. There are fairies in that world, and Titania and Oberon are rulers. Okay, Oberon and Titania, husband and wife, they are arguing about a custody of one boy. Right now, Titania is having a custody of that boy, and Oberon wants that boy to be under his custody. So this is a major issue between this couple. Okay, so Oberon simply tells his wife that he wants to have a custody of that boy, but Titania refuses. Okay, so now Oberon decides to teach his wife a lesson. So what does he do later? We'll come to know, but just right now, uh, have this idea in your mind. Fourth pair, Oberon and Titania, king and queen of fairy world. Okay, now there is one servant of Oberon. His name is Robin Goodfellow, or simply Puck. He is called as Puck, who is servant of Oberon. He also has magical powers. He is not normal human being. He is a part of a fairy world, so he has some kind of magical powers. Okay, another character, not a pair, character. Remember this. And now there are some fairies in the fairy world, and names are given: Peace Blossom, Cobweb, Moat, and Mustard Seed. Okay, they are not prominent one, just remember their names. All right. So till now we have seen four pairs, and these fairies, Aegeus, Puck. Along with them, there are other people. As I told you before, that Theseus and Hippolyta are going to get married shortly. Lot of celebrations will be there, lot of functions will be there, and one of them is a play is going to be performed during their wedding or after their wedding. Okay, so these people, Quince, Snug, Starveling, Snout, Flute, and Nick Bottom, these are the players who are going to perform a play. Okay, these characters are not prominent characters, remember this, but just know their names. These people are going to be there, and one among them, Nick Bottom, is somehow associated with Titania. How? We'll see when we read the plot. Okay, so I hope now you have some kind of idea about the characters. There are four important pair of lovers in this play. One is Theseus Hippolyta, second is Hermia Lysander, third one is Demetrius Helena, and fourth one is Oberon Titania. Okay, and there are some characters associated with them in some or other way. Aegeus is father of Hermia. Puck or Robin Goodfellow is helper or servant of Oberon, and Nick Bottom is one of the players who is going to perform a play in the celebration of Theseus Hippolyta's wedding. Okay, so these are the characters. Now let us see their story. What happens in this particular play? Okay, now on your screen you can see the plot of the play. As you already know about the characters and who are they and how they are associated with each other, you can easily understand the plot now. Okay, now let us see very quickly what is the plot or what is the main story of this play. Okay, I have told you before that this play has many characters and they are associated with each other in some or other way. And one another thing which you should know is the story or the action of the play happens at four different places. Okay, four different places. Now, first part is in the palace. And you already know that Hippolyta and Theseus are going to get married. There are preparations going on. Okay, and Aegeus, a courtier, comes with Hermia, Lysander, and Demetrius. Okay, and Aegeus says that I want my daughter to get married. I want my daughter Hermia to get married to Demetrius, but Hermia is already in love with Lysander. Hmm? Remember those pairs which I told you before. Hermia and Lysander are in love with each other, but their love is not approved by Hermia's father. He wants her to get married to Demetrius. She is given three options by Duke of Athens. Because, see, when a girl is supposed to get married, in previous times, let us say, in previous times, when a girl was about to get married, she needed to have an approval by her father for the wedding. Okay, so if that approval was not there, then that relationship was not accepted by the people. Okay, so she is given now three options: either to marry Demetrius as per the wish of her father, तिच्या वडिलांची इच्छा आहे that she should marry Demetrius. This is one option. Second is do not marry anybody and live a celibate kind of a life, to become a nun, sannyasini or brahmacharini as we call in Marathi, live such kind of a life or suffer a death sentence. Okay, so this Hermia is now in a great danger. Okay, she has to face a real problem here. Okay, she loves Lysander, but her father wants her to marry Demetrius, and if she refuses, then she has to either accept a death sentence or to live a nun's life. Okay, so what is her solution? She simply decides that she and Lysander are going to elope, पळून जाणार आहेत ते दोघे, and to get married. And they decide to go in the woods. जंगलात जाणार आहेत ते. And while talking about the characters, I told you that there is another world, world of fairies, and those fairies live in the woods. Okay, so this pair will be somehow associated with the world of fairies. Okay, now what happens? Pay attention to this picture. You will come to know about its significance once the story uh, is covered. Okay, now this plan is already decided upon, that Hermia and Lysander are going to elope at night, and Hermia's friend Helena, she comes into a picture now. I told you third pair, remember, third pair, Helena and Demetrius. Now, this Demetrius is interested in Hermia. but Hermia is in love with Lysander. Okay, so this Hermia's friend Helena, she knows about Hermia's plan. Hermia is going to elope at night. So Helena decides to tell the truth to Demetrius. Why? Because she loves Demetrius and she wants to tell him that Hermia is not a right girl for you. Okay, this is what she thinks. So she goes to Demetrius and she tells him that Hermia is going to elope at night, and she confesses her love to Demetrius, but he refuses her love and he decides to follow Hermia and Lysander in the woods. Okay, now what is going to happen? Hermia and Lysander are going to elope in the woods, second pair. Demetrius decides to follow them, and Helena also decides to follow Demetrius. Okay, so what is going to happen? These two pairs will be there in the woods at night. Okay, they don't know that they are going to be there, that these four people are going to be there. It is not planned, but somehow they end up being together at night in the woods. Okay, now as I told you that the story takes place at different places. There is one another place, Queen's Cottage. A small settlement, Queen's Cottage. Okay, Queen, if you remember, is one character, a player who is going to perform a play. Okay, so at Queen's Cottage, there is Queen's and there is another character, Bottom. Okay, this Bottom is very over enthusiastic. See, his features or his personality traits are told to us that he is over enthusiastic, talkative, and self appointed active worker from the group who wants to play every role in the play Pyramus and Thisbe. Okay, so two characters that you should know, Queens and Bottom. Okay, and I told you, if you remember, this Bottom is somehow going to be associated with Titania, queen of fairies. Okay, let us see what happens. Now these people are also going to be there in woods. Okay, so how many people are going to be there? Lysander, Hermia, Demetrius, Helena. Now these crew of the play, Queens, Bottom, and other players, and another place now in the woods. There is another world, not of human beings but of fairies. There is King Oberon and Queen Titania. They are fighting with each other because they have some issues, or they are not in terms with each other in case of a custody of a boy. Okay, Titania is having a custody of a boy and Oberon wants that boy to be under his custody. Okay, so this couple is fighting with each other. They are king and queen of fairy world. Okay, and Titania refuses to hand over that boy to Oberon. So Oberon decides to teach his wife a lesson. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. So what he decides, how is he going to teach her a lesson? He tells his servant Puck, remember that character which I told you, he decides to teach his wife a lesson, and he tells his servant Puck to bring a flower, love in idleness. Okay, and this flower has one quality, that if you squeeze a juice out of that flower and pour it on the eyelids of a sleeping person, it will make him or her fall madly in love with the first person he or she sees after waking up. ओके. सो काय आहे की त्या फुलाचा रस जर तुमच्या डोळ्यांवरती पडला तर तुम्ही डोळे उघडल्यानंतर ज्या कुणाला पहिल्यांदा पाहाल त्या माणसाच्या तुम्ही प्रेमात पडता. ओके. फेरी वर्ल्ड आहे, सो दिस काइंड ऑफ मॅजिकल थिंग्स विल बी देअर. Okay, so now Puck decides, or Puck is sent away to bring that flower. Okay, now what happens? Now all the people are going to gather in the woods. First pair comes, Demetrius and Helena. They arrive first. Okay, and Oberon sees the couple and he sees that the woman or the young lady is already interested in this gentleman, but the gentleman is not paying attention or he is very cold. He does not show any kind of affection to the lady. Okay, so what does he decide? That he is going to use that flower, love in idleness, to make Demetrius fall in love with Helena. Okay, this is one thing. Now second, what happens? Puck is already sent to bring that flower, and that Puck does something. We'll come to know about that. He is a magical character, but he is creating lot of problems. He is going to be a reason behind the entire confusion which is caused in the play. Okay, now the another couple comes into the wood, Lysander and his lover Hermia. Hermia and Lysander are already there, plus Demetrius and Helena are also there. So what happens now? Taking Lysander for Demetrius, Puck squeezes the juice on his eyelids. हा, सो आता मेजर प्रॉब्लेम काय झाला आहे त्या प्लेमध्ये की ओबेरॉन, किंग ऑफ फेरीज, त्यांनी काय सांगितलंय पकला की सी दिस मॅन हू इज स्लीपिंग राईट नाव, डिमेट्रियस, he is loved by another young lady, Helena, but Demetrius does not love her back. So what do? You go and squeeze this juice on his eyelids, so once he wakes up he'll see Helena and he will fall in love with her. Okay, but Puck accidentally sees Lysander first and he squeezes the juice on his eyelids. So what is going to be going to happen की जेव्हा लायसेंडर उठतो तो तेव्हा तो हेलेनाला पाहतो पहिल्यांदा. ओके, अँड ही फॉल्स इन लव विथ हेलेना. ओके, आता लक्षात घ्या स्टोरी काय आहे ॲक्च्युली. दिस लायसेंडर इज ऑलरेडी अ लवर ऑफ हर्मिया. ओके, तिच्याबरोबर तो पळून आलेला आहे जंगलामध्ये. पण हे सगळं होतं अँड वन्स ही वेक्स अप he sees Helena first and he falls in love with her. Okay, now see this line, sends Puck to fetch Helena, which leads a fierce quarrel between Hermia and Helena, as also between Lysander and Demetrius for Helena. So काय होतंय, ॲक्सिडेंटली ओबेरॉन आणि पक दोघेही दोन माणसांच्या डोळ्यांवरती ते ज्यूस स्क्वीज करतात आणि त्या दोन्ही माणसांनी उठल्यावर पहिल्यांदा कुणाला पाहिलं, हेलेनाला. सो राईट नाव बोथ आर मॅडली इन लव्ह विथ हेलेना ओनली. ओके, अँड फायनली व्हॉट हॅपन्स, ओबेरॉन नाव डिसाइड्स दॅट ही हॅज टू स्टेप फॉरवर्ड टू just restore the situation back to normal, and he removes the spell of potion from Lysander, restoring his love for Hermia. Lysander आणि Hermia हीच ओरिजिनल पेअर होती, as you know. Then Oberon also feels the need to release Titania from his spell as he feels sorry for her, and his purpose of obtaining the Indian boy is also served. ओके, इथे काय झालंय ती मी स्टोरी तुम्हाला पुन्हा सांगते या दोघांची, ओबेरॉन अँड टायटेनियाची. Theseus, Hippolyta, Aegeus enter and see the four Athenians. It is the day of declaration of Hermia about her decision, and she tells openly that she loves nobody but Lysander only, and she is going to marry Lysander. This is her final decision. He tells her father that very clearly, and he has to accept it eventually, and he does it. And now all the problem is restored. Demetrius realizes that Hermia does not love him back, but Helena is very loyal to him, and eventually he falls in love with Helena. He accepts her love and he loves her back. Okay, so now the problem between these two pairs is solved. Hermia is back with Lysander, and Demetrius and Helena are together. Okay, so in the final scene, the joyous lovers appear on the scene, and Theseus, Duke of Athens, decides it is a time for the festivities and choose to see hilarious play Pyramus and Thisbe. Okay, and this is how this play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, come to an end. Okay, it is a story between the couple and the major theme is love. All right. Okay, now this is the synopsis. The normal story is very big, the entire story is very big, but we are just given a one scene out of the whole play. There are many acts, there are many parts of this play, but we are specifically given act 3rd, scene 2. So second scene from 3rd act is only given to us. We are going to see its synopsis first, and then we'll read the actual scene. The scene is very big, so I am not going to read it line by line or word by word. So every day what we'll do, आपण मी तुम्हाला आधी सांगीन की टुडे आय एम गोइंग टू कवर these many pages, 4 to 5 pages. You can read them at home, and I'll just discuss what is the major action which happens in those pages. Okay, असं करून आपण ते कवर करूया, because it is around 15 or 16 pages, so it is not possible to read all the pages in the lecture. पण मी तुम्हाला आधी सांगणार आहे कुठल्या पेजेसवरती आज फोकस असेल ते. सो सपोज पहिली 5 पेजेस असतील तर मी तुम्हाला तसं सांगेन. सो फर्स्ट you have to read those pages, and then I'll discuss what happens in it. All right, so in the next lecture we'll see the synopsis of the second scene, the scene which is there for us. Okay, so synopsis पाहूया, and then we'll start to see the actual action from the next lecture. Okay, now there are dramatis personae given to us, the major characters that I have already discussed. ओके, हे सगळ्यात शेवटी आलंय, तेच आधीच क्लिअर केलेलं असल्यामुळे राईट नाव यू हॅव सम आयडिया अबाउट द सेंट्रल आयडिया ऑफ द प्ले. ओके, दिस विल बी एन्जॉयबल once you start reading the play. Avoid any confusion. I'm going to send you the image. See that carefully. Start making notes. Whenever I say something different, or whenever I stress on a point, you write that down so that you can follow the action as it happens. Okay, so I hope that now the characters and the plot is somehow clear to you. आत्ता फक्त कॅरेक्टर्सवरती आणि मेजर आयडियावरती फोकस करा. सिनॉप्सिस मी उद्या कवर करणार आहे. सो तेव्हा आपल्याला ती स्टोरी अजून क्लिअर होईल. एक बेसिक आयडिया फक्त असू द्यात. अँड लेट अस कवर दिस इन दिस वे ओनली. I hope that you have understood at least something in today's lecture. Thank you for your attention. We'll meet in next lecture and start to cover the actual play A Midsummer Night's Dream, a comedy by William Shakespeare. Thank you for your attention once again. Have a great day ahead.